Hi folks, Jeff Rubrock here, all things prints this semester. Just going over some basic drawing skills, and we're doing a huge collection of just small informative drawings to guide your practice in later parts of the program. For this particular drawing, we're going to talk about projection lines, and we're going to do that between a square and a rectangle, just in case you've forgotten what a shape is. We're going to talk about center line in a plumbing fitting. So I'll probably just draw probably a 45-degree Y here. And then we're going to talk about center line, so marking the center of something. So projection and center line is the theme here. And they're both, to my mind, they're both forms of projections. Projecting center or projecting between objects. To project between objects, you're going to do a square and a rectangle that are same size, same level. That's all we're going to do. So for that, we can actually draw a line all the way across this page. And then we can go up and draw a line all the way across this page. So believe it or not, we can put a square in one side and a rectangle in the other without redrawing the top and the bottom of either. So to draw a square, and then we can draw a rectangle. So if you recall, the rectangle and the square are the objects, and they can be emboldened with dark pencil. I sometimes use marker, but you want that object to pop off the page for you. And I guess the purpose of a projection line, in case you're wondering, don't forget to turn your pencil as you're using it, it keeps it sharp, is it prevents you from drawing everything twice or measuring everything twice. We haven't gotten into a lot of measurements, but I could have made, I don't know what this is, say 2.5 inch square. But I could have just measured it once for the height, and then you've got it done, because the line in between them is called a projection line, and that you want medium weight. You do not touch the object, and you leave a little dash in the middle. Same with that. So there you go, projection line, and we'll label these. Remember, your leader lines need to be an oddball shape so they're not easily confused with the object itself. And medium pencil weight. There you go. If you wanted to label the square and the rectangle, you could as well. Probably not the worst idea. So the next one we're going to talk about is a center line for a fitting. And on this one, I'm just going to draw. Again, we're not measuring things here. But we're going to just draw a 45-degree branch fitting called a Y. But the focus here is not the Y itself, but the center line. So to find the center line, if you were drawing this on a piping plan, you would do something like this. So now this is my object I'm drawing. So you can see why that's called a Y. And Y is spelled two ways in the Ontario Building Code. It's simply the letter Y. But you can also spell it W-Y-E. And this is called a symbol, Y symbol. Then when you go to finish this one off and make it pretty, again, I'm going to use markers just because it's easier. They actually make a little plate for erasing, and you cover the line you don't want erased. So there's our object. And then the outline of the fitting is secondary, so I'm doing that in fairly light lines. And this is a 45-degree Y. So I'm using the 45-degree triangle. Sorry, that sounded funny, but I have the set square underneath my chin. And then you can see I clean that right up. So there's the center line symbol for a Y. And again, you could take this line out here. I just put that line in to keep me straight, embolden a little bit, your leader line and stuff. The last thing is, when you're doing a fitting like this and you are doing a center line, you can mark it with the initials CL. And there's two ways I'm going to show you of doing that. Horizontally, when you want to mark a center line, you simply put the letter C and the letter L. If you're marking it vertically, you build the C right, the CL, the initials C and L, you build that right in. But again, it is a projection line, so you got to put that little tiny dash in the middle. And these are for the most part information lines, center lines. So using medium weight, in my case a marker because it shows on the camera better. So there you go, there's a whole variety of projection lines, projection center of a fitting, pipe or fitting. I have both here because I've gone beyond the fitting. And then random versions of center lines, projection lines, showing the center of, say, a window or a door. Or of course, projection lines for that square and rectangle. Anyways, I think that's it. We'll mark these off. Rectangle, I got it. Square, I got it. Date, 22 summer, drawn by JR, not to scale. I used my tools, title block, each lecture item, show initial lines. Yes, so I've left my initial lines on there. I took them off of here. And then sample objects are all done. Normally you could erase those initial lines, right? Like I did here. Anyways, that's it. Jeff Rugrock, all things prints this semester. I hope that was helpful. On to the next.